Welcome back to another episode of Full Circle. Lexie, let's just get right into it. Let's not even beat around the bush. How are you doing?
I got a practice facility.
Congratulations.
Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. We got a practice facility.
What? Lexie, what happened?
Girl, I've been reading a lot and praying a lot. And I've been learning that when you are putting things into the universe, you're manifesting things, you're praying for things, you have to be very specific. So
Amen.
when I've been putting out into the universe that I want a practice facility, I failed to say where. So now I have one in Seattle with the Seattle Storm. I'm feeling good, actually. It's Tuesday. The trade happened on Friday, I want to say. And I've had a few days to like decompress about it and think about it. My family was in town this weekend, thankfully. So I've been able to like just be with them. And I'm excited. I feel good about it. But I mean, the business, we've been talking about it the last few episodes about the business of sports and how hard it is sometimes personally. And just another little detour to my ultimate destination. But
could you walk us through how you found out, like the process of, I know I found out on Instagram, but could you walk us through how you found out?
I will say I thankfully received a phone call. I was on my way to my game in Nashville. I was literally in the parking garage and our GM called and I was like, this is not good. I immediately knew it was going to be something like this. So I answered the phone. She had called me. Basically, the call was 1 minute. That's it. So she got straight to it. She said, the Seattle Storm have inquired about you and we're going to trade you. And I was like,
in those exact words?
Basically, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then also added that because the Storm had a player suffer an injury, actually Jordan Horston, who's playing in Athletes Unlimited right now, had an injury that they're like, oh yeah, they need a roster spot because they lost a player, which I later found out was not the reason why Seattle reached out. So she said that to me on the phone and I just said, okay, good luck. And then
that's what you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, good luck to you guys. Like there was really no conversation. And looking back, maybe I could have handled that conversation a little bit better, but it caught me so off guard. And I was getting ready to go play a game myself. So I was really like, I need to get to the gym. Like that was like my first thought. And then right after that, De'Erica called me and she was just like, do you feel like talking? And I was just like, sure, let's talk. She had no idea that was going to happen. So we talked for a second and, it was just, we were both just really disappointed because we really didn't get that much time together on the court because I was dealing with what I've been dealing with and we really played well together. So I'm grateful for my time with De'Erica for sure. But yeah, it like from the call, I had to get my shit together and go play a basketball game that I thankfully played well in. We didn't win, but I walked into the arena like very late.
Day.
It was a day. I walked into the arena. I was late to the game to warm-ups and I walk in and everybody's like looking at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like I still have a job. Like I'm okay.
Yeah.
But like it's still like a lot to process all at once. Now I have to come in and show up for my teammates and play a whole basketball game when I really wanted to like cry. But I mean, now, the smoke is clear a little bit. I'm like really excited, but the whole process of it was kind of like, I wish this went a little bit better, honestly.
Definitely. What about, you said that they told you the reason was because Seattle inquired about you because somebody was hurt. And so they needed a roster spot. But then you later found out that wasn't the reason.
Right.
What was the reason?
That they just really needed a shooting guard. They have a gaping hole in their offense. They don't have any three-point shooting because Sammy Whitcomb left. So they don't have a shooter right now, which is funny because when the Sparks signed Plum and Odyssey, I was like, oh, I need to show that I'm a 3-level scorer more, which is what I've been doing in AU the last 2 weeks, was not shooting as many threes, getting to the basket, getting to the mid-range, playing the three, because I was like, okay, if I'm gonna have to be on the court potentially with Odyssey or Plum or both, I need to show that I can play that three position. But now, like, I'm absolutely gonna be a 2 in Seattle, which is great because that is my position. But I've been showing that I can do more than just shoot threes, which I've been able to do that for a long time. But I just had to, find a role in the W. Like I always say, sometimes you just got to find your role and live in it for a little bit before you get your opportunity. So yeah, I spoke with the GM and the coach. I've been texting with some of the assistants, and they're like really excited about me coming. They've all been watching me in Nashville, and they're just really excited about how my game has grown in the last 2 years, despite me dealing with the illness. I've like really worked hard to get back and come back better, because a lot of people don't really know my game. A lot of people really do think that I am a podcaster full time. So when the news dropped, I had more comments asking if I was still going to be on Gil's Arena.
That was going to be my next question, because
Yeah.
obviously we can do our podcast from anywhere. But
Mhm.
as far as everything else that you had going on in LA, because you had a lot going on there, how does
Yes.
that change for you? I mean, Seattle isn't too far, right?
No, I mean, and I don't do Gills during the W season, and then the NBA season ends in June anyway. So last season, I would only go on Gills during the season if we had like an off day or something. So I typically don't even do Gills during the W season. I'm completely locked in to what I'm doing, and then now we will be locked into our show. So yeah, I mean, I will still be in LA during the off season. I just got a place out there. I love LA. So I'm still
You
very
did
much an
just get a
LA girl.
place.
I just got a place. So
I
my first thought was
forgot.
like, "Well, another summer of living out of a suitcase," but
Oh
it's
my
fine. At least
gosh.
I'm still on the West Coast, so I'm grateful for that. But I'm still very much going to be in LA in the off season and still doing all my stuff there. Um, and then the guild, they've all been like super supportive about it. I heard from a few of them, and they're like, "We Seattle Storm fans now." So yeah, it was a lot, and it's just went through a lot in LA. Like I even wrote it in my notes, Mariah. Here, you want to hear some stats from my time in LA?
I would love to hear.
Okay, all right, I have it. I've written down, guys. Okay,
Lexie's time in LA.
Lexie's time in LA. In 3 seasons in LA, 3 GMs, 3 coaches, 3 strength and conditioning coaches, 2 medical staffs, 22 different teammates, 2 practice locations, and 3 different apartments.
Dang.
Yeah. That's just like the light version of just how much instability I faced as a player. And since my first season there, it was me and Ray Burrell were the only ones left from my first season there. And then even that season, she was injured most of that season. So she didn't even really play. So from a business perspective, I feel like, yeah, I probably was the last one to like get out that was still like lingering from the dysfunction of the past. So like I can understand that. I have to understand that. But I've been like seeing just a lot of dialogue about like me as a player, a lot of dialogue about my health, which I think is strange. I did not expect so much conversation to come from me being so transparent about having Crohn's disease, considering it's such a misunderstood and underrepresented illness in the not in the world, but even in just our community, Black women, Black people in general, dealing with autoimmune diseases, which it's running rampant in our community. So I really feel like it was a good thing that I started being so open about it, because the people that I've met that also deal with autoimmune diseases often tell me how they feel unseen and misunderstood because it's not something that you can visibly see is bothering you or affecting your life. So, like, I've had people tell me they have lost their jobs, they've had to quit their jobs, they've fallen out with family members, things like that. So, I completely understand, and I'm just grateful I have the support system that I have that has, like, kept me going, because I do feel like I'm a face and an advocate for a lot of people. And I do want to ensure people, even though I ensure people in episode 1 that I am healthy, I feel great. I actually was in a mini flare up over the weekend while I was playing.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Wait, I have a question. So basically, to clarify, you've been seeing a lot of dialogue. What's the dialogue that you've been seeing? Like, is it people blaming the fact, like you getting traded on you being sick?
basically, oh, she can't stay on the court. She's not healthy. She's never going to be able to finish a season. Just like weird things like that, which in my 7 seasons, now about to be 8, I've been 100% available for 6 of them. And just because I didn't get the minutes didn't mean I wasn't available. So people, I respectfully can give people grace if they go look at my stats for my career and could see the inconsistency. But that's not because I was like not playing because I was sick or injured. I just wasn't getting an opportunity to play. And, I had a major leap from year 1 to year 2. And then it was COVID. And then I got waived randomly. Like, it's just been like one thing after another. And I'm still here and dealing with now this autoimmune disease that I now feel like I have conquered and I've completely managed. My routine is like top tier. So I've honestly, like I said, the phone call was a minute. I don't know the reason why I was traded. I didn't ask to be traded. I'm grateful that I'm in a situation that I'm in Seattle because I wanted a facility. I wanted to be around veterans. I wanted to win now. I wanted to be in a professional environment. All of the things that I've been wanting for the Sparks is already going on with the Storm. And I wish the Sparks all the best because they are, entering a new era. And that's very exciting. And that was something I absolutely wanted to be a part of, but I'm not. And that's fine because it happens. But um, again, this is another situation. Almost every situation I'm leaving with like Nick Young meme, like question mark. Like,
Yeah.
what happened? Like, what? Like, no one ever is like straight up with me. And it's disappointing because us as players just have to continue to be professional through it all, no matter what, no matter how we feel, no matter how we've been felt slighted or disrespected. I do feel like players are owed a conversation, a meaningful dialogue, and a reason, even if it's bad. And you don't have to make that public knowledge, but
And they should be honest with you because that helps you throughout your career. But also, like, is that a snaky thing where it's kind of like, why give you that intel when
right.
like
So
you're
yeah,
not
I
really one of
mean,
ours anymore,
exactly.
you
Like,
know?
so are you gonna give somebody that you're moving information about your plans for the future? Like, I don't know, but like sometimes I'm just like, you have to like respect us as people. And that's something that we've been all athletes have been more vocal on lately is like we're still humans. Like I know y'all think that we're these athletic robots that run around that have no emotions or feelings, but it's like this is now my third team that I've been traded or moved on from, and I'm leaving with what did I do? And there's just been like I just had to just be like, all right, whatever, let's just chalk it to the game and keep it pushing. But it's like after after so many times, it's just like, is this the business? And like I honestly I just don't feel like this is how business should be. And we're seeing it in other leagues as well, that people are just like, they say what they want. People can feel how they want without really knowing the truth. And organizations just let things be said. Players just let things be said and then just keep it moving because business is business. But yeah, the call was very short. And I'm just like, I feel like I probably deserved a longer conversation than that. But again, I take ownership for part of that because I kind of just was like, I have a game to get to. Like, I don't really have time for this conversation right
But
now.
you didn't have time.
Yeah, quite literally did
So you
not have
can't really
time.
blame yourself because you literally did not have time. I think people forget that, when fans are looking at basketball as a whole and we're like, oh, this person would be so good on this team because of this, like kind of using you all as chess pieces. Like, okay, it
Right.
does make sense. If Seattle does need a shooter, obviously you make sense to plug into their system. But at the same time, you're a person and you have a brand new apartment and a life and jobs and like
Yeah.
they're uprooting you essentially.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about it all the time with the NBA because their trade deadline is trade deadline, like we don't like that doesn't really happen in the W. Rarely players get moved like mid-season. And if they do, it's like one or two, maybe. But I mean, yeah, I was like, oh, my apartment, like I kind of felt bad about that. And then my next thing was like my doctors. My
Oh
doctors are in
yeah.
LA. So it's just like it was weird because like Seattle had been like coming to my attention a lot lately. Like I had people in AU mentioning like Seattle like really has been liking how you've been playing. And I'm like, okay, that's good to know. Like
How do they know that?
people are telling them, like coaches talk. I mean, we have 4 WNBA coaches in facilitator
Oh, so
roles.
you're
So
getting a little
I'm getting
intel.
like feedback from people that are like, "Oh yeah, they really liking how you're playing right now." And I'm like, I mean, that makes me happy because you got to keep your value high wherever that may be. If your value is high and it's not on your team, then they're going to find a way to get you. Now, if you don't have any value at all, like then that's like worst case scenario. So, when I got the call, like I didn't think they were actually going to do it because they did trade me for second round picks, which on Twitter I said was equivalent to a bag of popcorn because
Aw.
typically second round picks at the number like 20s, very hard to make a roster at that
Yeah.
number. It's possible. Like you can I don't want to say like if you're a second round pick, you can't make a team. You absolutely can, but it's very hard. So for someone who finished the season as one of your top 3 scorers the last 2 years and you just give them away like that, like again, that's another thing that makes you kind of feel like, was I ever valued here at all?
Right.
Because
And
this is what happens.
I think part of that though is probably the turnover they were experiencing. It's like the people who were there when you first got there, that not to say that the people who are there now didn't value you, but it was like they didn't really have time to build that relationship with you or with anybody else. That's why it was so unstable because there was so much turnover. And so it's
Yeah,
kind of like the people who are there now don't really have an attachment to
exactly. To the
what
mess.
has been. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, even our new GM, she came in while I was already sick. Like, so I will say, like, she doesn't even know like the type of player, the type of leader, the type of worker that I really am because I was just dealing with so much personally. And I will take that. Like that I will take for myself because the last 2 years I was very into myself and not selfishly, but because I needed to exert so much energy to show up every day. I could not be probably that locker room person, that veteran that they needed me to be. And I'll take ownership for that because I was trying to get myself back. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I was perfect. I did everything right. And I don't know why, like, this is happening. Like, there are instances where it can look back and be like, well, yeah, I can see why they would want to, like, just wipe their hands clean of, like, just all of this to move forward. And yeah, and now I got people calling me old because I'm 30. And I'm like,
But
oh, we're here now? Like,
Lexie, don't
people don't
worry.
know that
She's
I'm
gonna
really
see.
young and people really don't know that I'm young and turned still. I went to a dance class last night,
A
a
dance class?
hip
How
hop
was
class.
that?
It was so much fun. I put it on TikTok, guys, if you want to see. It was a little
What
beginner's class.
how was I'm like, did you go by yourself or did you bring somebody
No,
with
I went
you?
with my friend and her friend that also like teaches classes. So we just like went and did it. It was a
Good for
good
you.
workout.
I'm actually excited for you. This is like going back to what we were just talking about, but I'm excited for you to be in more of a win now situation.
Yeah. I
I feel like
haven't
that's
been
gonna
in a
light a
win
fire in
now.
you.
Yeah. I mean, the last win now situation I was in, we won a championship. So
Uh-oh.
it's giving this team could win a championship, I think. We have all the pieces, we have all the resources. You know, I haven't had resources like this since I was in Minnesota, and that was in 2019. So I'm very, very excited about that. I might like move in to the
I'm so
facility.
excited for you.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, it's been like up and down. But again, overall, very positive from the Seattle Storm fans. I always have loved playing in Seattle. Their fans are amazing. Their arena is amazing. Oh, and then NECA, like obviously I have to talk about NECA. Like we had a great relationship in LA. She really was amazing while I was there. And like I remember when I was first getting sick, she was like one of the people who was like always trying to help me figure out what was going on. And she was like very concerned about me when this all started happening. So for me to be able to, you know, be reunited with her and be feeling the way I'm feeling, which is really healthy and really, really happy and then mentally in a good place. Like I'm just really excited to be on the court with her again and then playing with somebody like Skylar. Like I haven't played with a player like that at that position in a minute. So her competitive fire, her energy, like I'm just like, very excited to be on the court with people like that because I'm not like outwardly like that all the time. I kind of just like put my head down and work and do what I need to do. So to have someone like that who's like more vocal, probably a little bit more like outwardly like passionate, like I'm really excited to like maybe have some of that rub off on me. And I know we're gonna turn up Seattle. So I'm excited.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for you.
Thanks. And now your weekend, we can pivot to All Star. How was that?
Yes. You guys, I was at All Star Weekend. It was great. It was fun. This was my third All Star. My first one was Salt Lake, second one was Indianapolis. And so this one was in San Francisco. I felt like San Francisco is a much better location than the previous two. No offense to those cities, but it was
Mhm.
way too damn cold in those other ones. And like in San Fran, it was still cold, but it wasn't like when I was in Indiana, it literally snowed. So this is much better. I think let's just talk about the All-Star game and like the complaints for a second.
Seen a lot of complaints.
Let me say something. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this,
Oh
but like
gosh.
it has to be said. Okay. I think that the fans are misinterpreting the fact that All-Star weekend for the players is literally just like spring break. Like they don't care, they're not going to care, they won't care. And like you see this on social media, so I feel comfortable saying it. If y'all see them posting that they're at a spades tournament the night before the All-Star game,
They
do
are
you think
there
they're going
because
to
they have to be.
do you
One.
think they're going to show up to the game and be like, "Yeah, like I'm going to drive." Like no, like they've been partying all weekend. Like this is like one of the
Yeah.
only times that they're all in the same city at the same time. They're on break. Like this is just one big hee hee ha ha celebration to them. It's like
Yeah.
I know the fans want it to be they want to go at
But
each
I
other's
don't
necks
know
so bad,
why
but
they think the All-Star game has never been that. Like, I don't know what people are talking about. Like, yes, Kobe Bryant was a psychopath on the court, but it's like he didn't want to lose. Okay, but like still, the scores were still like 112 to like 118, and that was before all
hello,
the threes. So that was before all the threes. So
hello.
yes, y'all are like, we want to see more windmill dunks. Okay, that's what they were doing in 2010 because they weren't shooting all the threes yet. They still weren't playing any defense. They
Yeah,
were just
I
shooting
think
more layups. in
I think,
jumpers.
yeah, which is way more boring, by the way. So
Yeah. Like
I
what?
think fans are misinterpreting the fact that All-Star Weekend is like an NBA family reunion
Yeah.
and celebration of the city in which it's being played. Like it was very much, as somebody being there, it felt like a celebration of Steph Curry's career and the
Yeah.
Bay. It was not really, it's never going to be about we want to go at each other's throats and like they don't care
Yeah.
and they're not gonna.
Like the fan experience, I feel. So I've never been to NBA All-Star, but I went to WNBA All-Star for the first time last summer. The fan experience is, I think it stops at like, you're seeing everybody at one place at one time.
Yeah.
And you have all these activations and all of these pop-ups and all these things that you can just get in one place. So like if you are a Steph Curry fan and you live in New York City and the All-Star game is in New York that year, for example. Now you get the opportunity, you get to see Steph Curry, you probably get to buy a bunch of stuff that you probably wouldn't be able to get because you live so far, you don't want to order it online. Like that's the fan experience. The game is like the cherry on top.
The game is really, like you said, it's about seeing all of those players on the court at the same time.
Like
It's not about
and y'all just
seeing
had
them.
the Olympics. Like, can we please
Right.
like where
But
they were playing really hard? Like
where I feel like I'm like shitting on the fans right now. And what I do understand about the fans being pissed at the All-Star game, because I was at the game, but I mean, I was working. I didn't pay for those tickets.
Yeah.
Had I paid for them, I would be
like,
so
man.
tight.
Well, I heard that. I've watched it on TV. It was very weird.
The new format.
They need to throw that out. I don't know what that was.
It
and
was
no
not
disrespect to the rising stars, but no.
I was excited about
No.
it. I was really excited about it because I thought, a little something new. And I thought that maybe it being so tight, kind of Unrivaled is like 3v3 and like but like I thought it was gonna be more one-on-one competition and like more ego involved. And it just wasn't that. If anything, they cared a little bit less.
Yeah. Well, and I even saw like a lot of media members or people in the sports community just talking about how All-Star Weekend is no longer about basketball being played. It's like jam-packed with so much stuff. And even the players are exhausted. Like they're exhausted. Like, yeah, you're talking about party. I don't even know if they have time to party because they have so many other things, engagements that they have to go to and appear at, and appearances and community and this and that, which is also amazing. But for them to do all of that, and then you guys want them to like go crazy in the game when they have their real games in a few days. The rest of the league is in Cabo chilling. And they're at All-Star working. And the fans are just like, play harder, play harder. But like, it's called All-Star break. Like,
I will say, part of the problem, though, part of what the fans are so pissed off about, and I think what would make the fans complain about it a little less, because what you said was really good in the sense that the fantasy of what the game used to be when Kobe and Jordan and them were playing isn't real. Like, it wasn't this, like, they weren't out there trying to kill each other. Exactly. I mean, there was more competition, and they definitely took it more seriously, but it wasn't what the fans
and it wasn't as commercialized back then either. It was like literally about I remember growing up, everyone couldn't wait to watch the All-Star game. And like now also, it's like,
Saturday night is part of the problem. I think the fans would be less annoyed if the 3-point contest and the dunk contest were less poo-poo.
Yeah.
They probably would be able to get over the fact that the players aren't trying in the game if John Morant and Anthony Edwards were in the dunk contest.
Are y'all not tired? And Mac McClung is amazing. Don't get me wrong. What he does is impressive. 3 straight years.
Lexie.
He's a G League player, which no disrespect to G League players, but this is NBA All-Star Weekend. And y'all disrespect. Y'all have a young G League player carrying. Because it's not like he's doing a great job. Like, he's not BSing. He's
incredible.
Dunks.
He's incredible. I was so impressed.
What are we doing?
But also, I'll be so for real when I say this. First of all, if I were Mac, I would never do that shit again. I'm pretty sure he already said he's not.
Or run me a check, NBA, Adam Silver. I hope they pay him for that.
But also, number 2, part of the thing with the Mac McClung thing is like, no shit, he's dunking over a car and doing these crazy, never before seen, insane dunks when he's not technically a full-time NBA player. He spends the whole year practicing for the dunk contest. Like, and that's no disrespect for him. It's just like he pops up once a year for the dunk contest. That's when we see him. That's like what he is riding on for endorsements and blah, 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 blah. It's like the dunk contest. So no shit, like he is killing it at the dunk contest. And if he goes up against like an NBA player that's like full-time in the NBA, obviously they're not going to be doing as good as him because he knew 3 years ago that he was going to have to carry the dunk contest for the next 3 years.
I don't know why the dunkers don't want to participate. Like,
they don't want to do nothing outside of the parameters.
Because I
what they
remember
gotta do.
last year, Jaylen Brown tried my dad's dunk. He attempted it, and I don't know if he did it right. He tried, and my dad loved the fact that he like attempted it. He has Brown 7. Like every time we watch him play, we're like, it's so crazy that he like just has your number and whatever. So the fact that he did that, like my dad loved it, but I don't think he successfully did it. But people were like so mean about it.
People were so mean to Jaylen Brown.
I'm just like, I guess I understand why guys don't want to put themselves out there like that because you don't like they quite literally do not have to.
You don't want to put yourself out there and do the dunk contest.
Thicker skin. They do need to have thicker skin.
Right.
But it's just like, if I can choose to avoid all this, I probably will because this is my time. I understand that.
But like
people have lost their minds on the internet.
That just proves though what everybody says about them. Also, I mean, in the 90s, early 2000s, they didn't have the internet. So I get that.
Exactly.
But like when those players say that the players today are soft, and you're saying to me, well, maybe they don't want to do the dunk contest because people are going to be mean to them. Bro, get out of here with that. I'm not trying to hear that. Do you not think in the early 2000s, if like Vince Carter did bullshit in the dunk contest, people would be making fun of him to his face in person, like
sending him letters to the arena. What's worse, a tweet or someone sending you a postcard? The
fans used to be fighting at the games, like, bruh, no.
You know what? You know what's crazy? If I opened up a fan mail and all it said was "you suck,"
and it was
that
mean.
might hurt me more than a tweet. Like that would definitely hurt me more than a tweet. So,
bruh.
I need the guys to step up.
You know what else I'm mad about? And I realized that it was because actually there's a few things about All-Star Weekend I'm mad about. Number one, why wasn't Steph Curry in the three-point contest? I don't care what the situation was with Sabrina or she didn't. First of all, if I were her, I wouldn't want to do it either. Second of all, like, it's in the Bay. And we're like, yeah, Buddy Hield represent the Bay. Hell no.
I did not know he didn't even do the 3-point contest.
Bro, do you know how this? And Steph Curry's my favorite basketball player. I literally bought an $18 collectible Steph Curry popcorn bucket. Like, I'm not playing about Steph Curry. But so imagine my surprise when I get to All-Star Saturday night and I see Steph Curry in street clothes.
In his clothes. Yeah.
Hell no.
Don't like that.
Who would want to buy that ticket? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I were a fan that spent my hard-earned money to see I'm in the Bay, this is where we're from, this Steph Curry's getting older, like we might never have an All-Star weekend with him here again, and he's not doing the damn 3-point. Miss me with that.
Yeah. Okay, what else you mad at?
Last thing. This is the last thing I'm mad at. And this got me so tight. We're calling an 8-second violation in the All-Star game.
Time out. We have a conversation about these referees just across the board. Just across the board. I don't think I can get in trouble for talking about refs on my own show like you do in media, but we'll see. Okay. This is not y'all's show.
Are they?
Please.
Bro.
Like, in AU, it's a mess. In the NBA, it's a mess. And on Rivaled, it's a mess. What are y'all doing? Did y'all have a refs meeting?
I'm telling you, everybody just wants attention.
We're tired of being yelled at all the time, which I can understand because they do get yelled at all the time. I could never be a ref personally. I would never. I would. No way you're screaming at me like that over a basketball game.
Hell no. We're just talking, but like they gotta stop. You're calling an 8-second violation. It's the All-Star. This doesn't matter.
Who'd they call it on?
Steph Curry.
Not on Steph Curry.
It was like
The
Steph
rules
Curry
of
was
basketball do not apply to Steph Curry in the All-Star game in San Francisco. Please.
I don't even like. Okay, if I remember correctly, he was dribbling the ball off the court, and it was like everybody was like Steph, Steph. Like the crowd was going wild because it was like they had to get to 40 points to win the game, and Steph Curry had the ball. His team had 38. Like, of
That's
course,
when
Steph
they
Curry's
called
at
it.
the yes.
I'm telling you, they want to be the center of attention so bad.
And then you want to know how the game ended, Lexie? This is what I'm so pissed about. Then blah blah blah. The international team, I think it was Chuck's Global All Stars, whatever. They miss. They somehow fumble their opportunity, whatever. And then the Steph's team gets the ball back. I'm sitting there going, okay, get the ball to Steph Curry. Get the ball to Steph Curry. Yeah. Jason Tatum's going in the game on a layup, bro. Jason Tatum, bro. Jason Tatum. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Jason.
Nobody's even playing.
Boston.
Nobody's even playing defense. Just get the ball to Steph. Like, we all know what's going on here.
Represent.
Like, that got me so tight.
My last thing about All-Star are the teams. They didn't completely make sense. So you got the OGs, right? And you have the young stars. We have 2 OGs, my Boston boys, who are 26, I think.
They're not OGs.
That is not an OG. And then you have 28
And Trae Young is not a global star.
You have a 28-year-old Jalen Brunson on the Young Stars team. What are we doing? Like, I knew what they were trying to do, but like once y'all saw that didn't match up, that y'all should have just eliminated the names and just kept Team Chuck, Team Shaq. Like, we would have been okay with that.
Yeah,
because I remember I saw a press conference of Jalen Brunson. He was like, "Yeah, they said that like we were the young stars," and then everyone looked directly at me, and I was like, "He's like, yeah, I'm 28." But like,
I will say, side note. The crowd was going crazy for Jalen Brunson all weekend. Like, they loved him.
He deserves that.
Loved him. Like, there were people that the crowd went mild for. Like, they really didn't care. Obviously, they went crazy for Steph every time he did anything. But I would say second to Steph was Jalen Brunson.
Wow.
They were eating him up.
That's fire. And he deserves that because people always shit on him for being, a small fish in a big market. But he's definitely a big fish in a big market. Like,
no, I love Jalen Brunson. I was rooting for him in the 3-point contest. I don't know what the hell he had going on.
Who won? Tyler Hero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Tyler Hero and Buddy Hield at the end. That's why fans are mad at All-Star Weekend. I'm gonna be real. Like, that's why.
It just seemed very unserious. And I hope next year is better. It's in LA.
Well, then LeBron better play. Because what the hell was that too?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Day of.
I was on the bus on the way to the game when I found that out. I was crazy. So sick.
He was just like, yeah, I don't feel like it. And Edwards didn't play either.
First of all, I forgot he was there. He just disappeared. I don't even think I really saw him sitting on the side.
Well, you saw in media, he said, I don't want to be the face of anything. He said that.
What?
That's what he said. He said, I don't want to. He said, that's what y'all got Wemby for. That's what he said in media. I love Ant. He's just so unhinged.
So I went to Georgia and Ant went to Georgia, and I remember he was like very much on a microscope when we were there because we don't have basketball players like that for men's. Our women's team absolutely dusts them. But I will say, while he was there, one thing I learned is that I can't remember if it was like his trainer or somebody very personally close to him during his draft process, because he kept making it seem like he didn't care about basketball, was saying that because he's been through so much in life, he kind of not sets himself up for rejection, but he's not like one who's going to be like, I'm going to be the face of the NBA just in case that doesn't happen. You get what I'm saying? So he kind of, right, exactly. So I think that
his Adidas commercials are fire.
I think him selling himself short in that way is kind of just that. Like, he's selling himself short to kind of like prepare himself. Like, don't expect that of me.
It's like a defense mechanism.
He doesn't want us looking at him expecting that.
He's he kind of said it with like a smirk though. Like,
exactly.
Stop asking me that. Like, y'all already know I'm one of them. Like,
exactly.
But you want, like, it's like, but that's the thing with media. They like try to set you up so you can say things So in the occasion that you're not living up to what you say, they can be like, see?
Exactly. Whereas now
And
the
that's what I'm
pressure.
saying about Ant. Like, he's smart. Like, the athletes are smartening up when it comes to media, because that's something that I personally have been grateful for. Like, I've never really been a media darling, which is why now I'm in media myself, because I feel like it's possible to uplift all players, but also be critical of their game, but like in
Mhm.
a respectful way. But when someone is doing something really well, like, you should be able to like unbiasedly appreciate what that person is doing. But if you've
Agreed.
talked so crazy about them in the past, you can't really say anything good about them ever, because you'd have to
Mhm.
apologize for being an asshole. But
I've been there. Trust.
these athletes are like smartening up. You're not going to get me caught up in saying something that you can turn and flip on me in a year or in a few weeks.
I think the craziest example of that is Ben Simmons' whole rise, like before he got drafted. There's a clip of, I believe it's Colin Cowherd in the media, being like, LeBron, we don't need you anymore. Ben Simmons is here. It's
Like,
like that's gonna like haunt Ben Simmons. Like, why would he say that? So I think,
or we
yeah.
said it like when Ant started getting the Michael Jordan comps, we were like, oh, they finna try and pack him up in a few months. Like,
Oh yeah.
don't, like, I've just always have thought that was the weirdest thing about
They
media,
were
is like, you
comparing
put,
Jimmy Butler to Michael Jordan.
yeah, like we put everybody on this pedestal instead of just appreciating who they are, just to kick them off of it when you feel like it. So it's
Well,
like,
I will say I'm guilty of that, Loki. Just because
we
sometimes
listen and we do not judge.
when somebody's going so crazy in a moment, you get recency bias. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, you get
absolutely.
so excited, like, and so you're like, yeah, this person's gonna be the next blah 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 blah. And if they don't amount to that, you're like, you're kind of like, oh, you're not that, and then you're mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen it happen. I personally, I've gotten like the reverse of it. Like, people have like just been so awful and mean to me from the beginning, that when I'm starting to do good, there's nothing, they don't want to say nothing.
Exactly.
Which is okay, because I've been able to build a very thick skin and a crazy work ethic, and not play for the validation of others or accolades or awards. I really do play because I love playing basketball and I love working hard. But I'm just like, I'm not going to accept it. It's not going to mean anything to me if all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, Lexie is actually like a pretty decent basketball player. I don't care. But it's like, why is it so hard for people to just be like, you know what? We might have been wrong about how we felt about her game. And it's just like, anybody who's been watching me in AU the last 2 weeks, like, there's no way y'all can say that I'm not an elite WNBA player. And if you don't feel that way, whatever, that's on you. But like, whatever, you can look at the stats, blah, 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 blah. Go look at the film, go look at the videos. Like, I passed the eye test. But for some reason, what I did in college doesn't matter. You know, how I play in the games that I have had opportunities, that shit don't matter. Like, it's just been kind of like weird. But like, that's just the media in a nutshell. But again, like I said, it doesn't really bother me. It hasn't prevented me from like working really hard and trying to do what I want to do. But with the All-Star game, back to that, I saw that next year that they're going to try and put in a one-on-one. I wonder where y'all got that from.
Bruh. First of all, that was lit. Like
I was pleasantly surprised by the unrivaled one-on-one. I do have some critiques of it, though.
What are your critiques?
If anybody has played one-on-one in any workout or anything, dribble limit. You have a dribble limit and you get one shot. There are no offensive rebound putbacks in ones. So outside of those two things, I mean, I think the 7-second shot clock was cool. But like, if you were really an elite one-on-one player, you don't need more than 5 dribbles to score. So that would be my only thing. Dribble limit, and you only get one shot. You don't get to throw the ball at the rim and go jump over your person and put it back. Like, you don't get to do that in ones. But other than that, it was really fun to watch. I will say I had my hesitations about it because I was like, one-on-one, like, how is this gonna look? But it actually was like really enjoyable. I really liked watching them.
Yeah, that was fun. Your teammate, Skylar, she like when I watched her in the first couple, great. That's gonna be exciting.
It was
That's gonna
so
be
funny
exciting.
just seeing the guards go against the bigs. Like, they didn't stand a chance with those rules.
Right.
Like,
But
I saw
also,
like miss layup, rebound, miss layup, rebound. Like, that's not allowed in one-on-one.
yeah, also that's part of that is like the fans picking how it's seated and like
or they should
how it went
separate
down
guards and posts.
that makes sense.
Like,
for sure.
Because I'm sorry, and I do think Fee is one of the best ISO players in the league.
I picked her to win that.
Yeah.
On House Highlights. Go watch, y'all, because I picked her to win that.
I will say that Fee is definitely, absolutely one of the best ISO players in the league. But to say that Arike is not the best one-on-one player, like we all know, because we all have to freaking guard her. Like, she is probably the best one-on-one player in the league, but she didn't win. She came in second, which still, with all those post players, it's still very impressive that she made it to the final round because the guards, like, they were literally just getting beat up and out rebounded.
Yeah.
But now the media going around All-Star Weekend asking the guys if they would play in a one-on-one tournament. Like, these guys play one-on-one all off season. That's all they do.
But they also play pickup and they play hard when they do in the All-Star game. So that don't matter.
So, I mean,
you know what? I got asked. I
run
want
a
to see
check, Adam, because you already took in-season tournament from us. You finna take one-on-one.
Right.
Write a check.
And he
another
was trying
check.
to get Caitlin. He was trying to get Caitlin to be
like,
they're using all y'all shit.
Yeah.
But I got asked doing another show about basically they had me do like a bracket of it was like Caitlin Clark and Steph Curry, Damian Lillard and Arike. It was like a co-ed tournament, basically. And they had me
2-on-2 tournament?
Yeah, but it was a guy and it was like a guy and a girl.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what do you think about that? Because I thought that sounded lit. I don't know.
That would be lit. Just come do it at ours.
Yeah.
Just come do it at ours. But like, make it like a fun thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, basketball is fun. Everybody.
I thought when Steph and Sabrina shot against each other,
that
was
fun. So fun.
Yeah,
like,
I thought it was
everything
fun.
doesn't have to be like hyper competitive, think PC. Sometimes things can just be fun. And yes, someone at the end of the day has to win and someone has to lose. But in like certain situations, entertainment does trump competitiveness. But like some fans just cannot comprehend that and just want to just be mean about everything.
They do. But that's gonna be it forever. That's gonna be the case forever. There's like those people who choose to do that and be mean about everything. There's nothing that we can do about them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will say, the last thing I will say pissed me off about All-Star Weekend, because I forgot to mention this earlier. Why are we having full-blown ceremonies in the middle of the games?
I don't know.
Like, I was in there and I was confused, like, okay, like this, it felt very long because of those. First of all, y'all got Dame shooting against a random from the crowd.
Oh my gosh.
And
that
losing,
whole thing was weird.
And
that
losing,
whole thing was weird. He had to lose.
That's what I was saying. I knew Dame was missing those shots on purpose.
Could you imagine if Dame looked at that kid, saw the 100 grand and just went, wop, 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 3 in a row? Like, nope, no money for you, little kid. Like, what?
Once Mr. Beast asked the kid, who gives me the heebie-jeebies, by the way, but that's a whole conversation for another day. Once Mr. Beast asked that kid what he wanted the money for, and he was like, for college and to help my family. I was like, Dame can't be him.
But I was just like, okay, like, was there a single benefit of Dame winning that competition? Did Dame get that? Would Dame get that money? Because that's not life-changing money for Dame.
He was just like a dickhead. He would just look mean.
Saying, like, so I was like, was Mr. Beast like trying to like okie doke the NBA? Like, I'm like, I was watching it and I was just like, wait, so if Dame makes more shots than the kid, if the professional basketball player makes more shots than the regular kid, then the regular kid gets no money.
Right. I actually think that the competition low-key No, it wasn't fair. That was stupid as hell. But I think that if it would have ate, like it would actually been a cute little energy breakup because it was a lot shorter than the ceremony they had later. If they had him shooting against another random, or if they had
Yeah.
two, or they should have had like Dame shoot against Steph Curry and had a
On
kid like that they
behalf
were
of a
representing.
kid. Yeah.
Yes, like that just
I
makes
was
like. Are you
But
trying
the
to make
fact
Dame look
that-
dumb?
The fact that Dame had to make 3 and the kid only had to make 1, like, I think, you know what? I think after Dame made like the first one, I think he had like a light bulb moment.
Well, I
Like,
peeped it.
dang,
It was
like if
after he
I
made the
win
second
this,
one.
because then he started missing. Surprise.
What the hell was that?
I thought that only happened on FaceTime.
That was weird. What? Okay, but back to the kid. I feel like being there watching it, you could clearly tell that Dame made his first 2, okay? And that kid still hadn't made one. And that's when Mr. Beast, like, I guess to make it climactic, Mr. Beast, after Dame made a second one, was like, so what do you want to use the money for? And then he said college and his family. And then it's like, Dame's like, okay, I'm not going to make this last one. So he just
Yeah.
kept missing.
I think Mr. Beast like thought he was like going like, I bet you he had a video on deck. This is why NBA players are this and that and that. Like, I bet. Like, Mr. Beast does, like, I don't know. I agree with you. Mr. Beast is like, he like gives me weird
He gives me the
energy.
heebie-jeebies. I'm scared of him.
He gives me very weird energy.
Why do you have so much money? Every time I see him, he giving away $1 million,
Why?
bro.
And why are you always recording it? Just give it away. Sometimes.
That I always find sus.
That was odd. And like rewatching it back. Because when I was watching it in real time, I was just confused because I was like, wait, so Dame wins, then then the money, no one gets money. So
Right,
why would Dame win? Like, why would he want to win?
Right. They definitely told him before it started that they have to let the kid win. They had the $100,000. It wasn't the real $100,000, I hope, but they had the $100,000 on the court. Like they were gonna give it to somebody.
That shit gave me Squid Games vibes.
Yes,
I was like, this is weird. Speaking of
like
Squid Games and AI and all that, why did Shaq walk out with that robot? That was terrifying. That was horrifying. I just saw that robot walk out with Shaq, and I immediately thought of an episode of Black Mirror, and I was like, what are we doing? Robots are not our friends.
What people don't know is there was like 5 of those little dog robots, and I guess it was during commercial break or something. You know how they do stuff in their arena? They had the dog robots do like a dance. And I was so scared.
Absolutely not. There's literally an entire episode of Black Mirror with those dogs. Those robot dogs.
And then they had another one that had a face. And they said, do you have anything to say? And then the robot went, make some noise.
Nah. I tweeted, I said, y'all not afraid enough of robots for me. I watch too many movies. I read too many books. I mean, y'all just literally have to watch Terminator. That's all you really have to watch.
No, I'm ready for W All-Star Weekend because W All-Star Weekend was lit.
It was so fun. It was so fun. And I think the USA All-Star format also was really fun.
Because they tried.
Yeah, but I'm like, because then I saw that Giannis was like, they need to do like a world versus USA, which that could be not great because like snubs will absolutely happen. So like, I don't know, like when people are like obsessing about fixing All-Star Weekend, I think they just need to like peel it all the way back to like its most basic form and then go from there instead of adding like all these trinkets and bells and whistles. People want to watch basketball. Mm-hmm. So that's why they love WNBA All-Star because they were hooping. I was there. You were there. The environment was amazing. Like they was out there hooping. And like, that's what people want to see. So I think that's the fix, Adam Silver. I don't know.
But he don't do nothing simple. Everything is always, let's throw a...
They said he's obsessed with tournaments. Maybe he has like a problem. Like, I don't know.
Bro,
Why
we
is
don't
there
need
a
to paint the
tournament?
court. And
Everything is a tournament now. Like, can we just play basketball, Adam Silver?
Bruh, just one game.
Like, Kathy, don't start that shit.
Gosh,
The Commissioner's
well,
Cup is fun, but that's all we need. We
that's
good with
enough.
that.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Well, Lexie, I'm so excited for you in this next chapter. And I can't wait to be doing breakdowns in your Win Now era. Like, that's good.
Win Now
that's good for
era.
the content. That's good for
No,
the
it
podcast.
absolutely is. And I'm telling the Seattle fans, like, this show is not going to be like messy. It's not going to tell secrets of the locker room, good or bad. Like, this is like quite literally a journey. Oh, and another full circle moment that I want to drip in here. I think the Seattle Storm were supposed to draft me, and they ended up not drafting me, which was okay. But I remember talking to the Seattle Storm. I was very sure I was going to the Storm, and I ended up going to Connecticut, which still was a blessing to get drafted. But I mean, if my life ain't the name of this damn podcast, like, it's just full circle moment after full circle moment. Like, so this is going to be fun. And now I have you coming on this journey with me and our iHeart family. So, like, this is just going to be really fun. And I'm really excited too.
No, I can't wait. Don't worry, guys, Seattle fans. Lexie won't be messy.
We will not be
I'm
messy.
kidding.
We're going to be fun, and it's going to be a time. And I'm so excited. And thank you guys so much for coming to another episode of Full Circle. We will see you next week.
Bye.